Welcome to Jevim's Research Channel. Be advised that this channel is not for anyone under the age of 18. Also, the research and discoveries of this channel should not ever reflect the personal opinion or views of Jevim or her team unless publicly stated. Please understand that the opinions of the audience is also not a reflection of what or how Jevim feels. Let's bring a curious mind and open heart to these spaces for educational purposes only.
It's another exclusive. Go ahead and get seated. You know the name, I ain't gotta repeat it. Keep it bumping like a marsh pit, rocking through the night. If you love it, leave a comment, hit subscribe and like. Always raise the bar, reaching for new heights. Shining like a star, illuminating with the light. I know you see me from afar. I'm burning bright.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to open tonight's discussion with a bit of a poem. Wisdom moves more swiftly than the wind. She is so pure that she penetrates all. She is the power of divinity. She is the sunbeam of the almighty glory. She reflects the light of eternity and is an image of divine goddess. In every generation she finds the holiest and makes prophets of them. For the divine loves no one so much as those who lie with wisdom. She is better than the bright daylight, for it fades into night, while wisdom never fades, and evil cannot prevail against her. She reaches from one end of the earth to the other, and wisdom order all things well. And with that, hello Blitz, good to see you.
Hi. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to set my phone so I can plug it in because last time it almost died on me. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Right,
Should have got that
take
figured
your
out
time.
before we. Sorry
Hi
about that.
Angel,
Can you see me
good to
okay?
see you. You like that EDM? Good. So, we are going to be doing commentary on a bit of AMMON, more on the AMMONITEs, and what they have to say, and this little banter that keeps going back and forth. It makes for good show, doesn't it?
Oh
I
yeah,
quite
it's
enjoy
entertaining.
it.
Are we
It
not
really,
entertained?
we
I'm
are.
entertained.
Yes. Let's see. Is it this one? Yes, it is. Here it is. I hope that you're nice and warm where you're at. We were supposed to get bad weather, Angel, but it's not bad at all. Okay, so you want to just jump into it. This is from, I have to tell you, I love this woman. This is from Temple of the Muse. Let me give it a like. She's amazing. She's amazing, and she will definitely put things right back in people's faces. And I fully expect Neil to go unhinged on her as well. So I really just wanted to talk about how, like, why is Neil so dead set against AMMON now when he was so close to AMMON? And well, I kind of know a little bit, but I also know that Neil is a very harsh judge, jury, and executioner. And I think he would do well to remember that he was new once. He was a new student once. And who was around bullying him, right? Like, I don't know. You all are going to see it. You're going to see it. I'm going to play it. Are you ready, Blitz?
I'm ready.
The girl with the piercing eyes. Are you talking about? Yeah, you're going to see her in just a minute. You're going to see her in just a minute. What is her name, Blitz? You said her name.
Madalena, I think it is.
Madalena. That is so pretty.
Madalena, or
That's
something like that.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Her voice is very soothing, eh? I
Let's
find.
review Gnostic Informants
Yes.
review
Let me turn
of
it up.
AMMON HILLMAN and Luke Gorton on Danny Jones. He says that AMMON is gaslighting and that the whole podcast is controlled in AMMON's favor. Most of it was just Luke throwing stuff at AMMON
Daddy,
while
high
he
five.
sat there calm and unbothered, mostly restrained by Danny. He says, "Show me the evidence. Let's explore these texts." In fact, that's all AMMON really wants to do, is just read and translate. Neil also makes statements like, "We don't need grammarians," and AMMON knows that his stuff is made up. Have you looked at those sources yourself? They didn't even talk about Mark 14. They didn't talk about Neoniskos, all the important stuff. Well, they didn't get there. That was on Luke.
Okay, I sped it up because we have several videos to look at. Okay, y'all, sped it up.
Luke's list of 10 things that he wanted to discuss with AMMON, and that's why there was a potential part 2, but is it really worth the time? Neil also says, AMMON won't debate me. Wah! Gnostic Informant also said that they picked somebody who doesn't know anything about AMMON's work.
Why? So Neil's wanting to debate AMMON now, huh?
Yeah, I've seen that, and he's like
She's got an
childish.
ethereal vibe, doesn't she?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what is it called, where those. It's like I can't think of the name of it, but her voice reminds me. It's like why can't I think of the name? I just woke up, so I worked the night shift. So anyway, sorry. So you got to give me some slack, but anyway.
It's okay. It's okay.
On purpose to keep them ignorant and uninformed, to control the discussion. That is a contradiction to what you said later when you said, "Oh, I don't even watch Lady Babylon. It's disgusting. It makes me sick." And then before you said, "We're the ones that know Lady Babylon. We're the ones that actually watch it religiously." Why would he debate somebody who can't read Greek? I heard.
I love that look that she gives him, eh? I love the look.
Yep. She's...
That look says it all, eh? That she's just like, huh? Like,
perfect, Darren. It's perfect. Yes.
Gwen. I also noticed a contradiction. Really? And you brought this guest on to give some insight and some input, and you interrupted them 37 times. Using ad hominem, saying that Danny Jones has the brain of a goldfish, and you had 19 ad hominems in the first 20 minutes. And
see, that is my major issue with Neil. He cannot argue without being a bully.
There were 2 advertisements. So AMMON doesn't want a
Go ahead.
Why is it when people always accuse others of what they're the most guilty of? I find a lot. I find that a lot. And she says that too, about how it's like a projecting your own narcissism kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's what
the people that
I know. Angels talk about, oh boy, I'm like, yeah, he's a hottie. He's a hottie.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yes, she gets him. She busts his balls.
I mean, I still like Neil's content, though. I mean, he does good content. He has great guests. That was
yeah. It does not.
He had great guests. Yeah. No, it doesn't. I mean, maybe there's no perfect people in the world, right? None that I've met anyway. So.
Yeah. Maybe Neil.
We're all flawed. Yeah, yeah. It's not. It doesn't seem very scholarly to me to be like calling people retards. There's nothing scholarly about that.
The whole thing is he's running with scholars, but because he's not a scholar, he's not held to the same standards, so he can be an ad hominem douchebag. No, No.
Well,
What's
even scholars do it too. Like I've seen scholars do it too. So, like, I mean, it's an immaturity. Like the very like people like a Bart Ehrman or a James Tabor, they're pretty classy people, and they don't get into that sort of thing, you know. But so people like Kip Davis, he can be a bit of a jerk at times, you know, or whatever, you know. Or what was that person's name? Christie. Do you know who Christie is? Neil's had her, whatever, on his show. I think I told you about how I told you I ran into them on X, and man, that Christie
right?
person is
There's a
just
Christy that
brutal.
she come
I can't.
out, or Derek come out that there was a Christy that was part of a cult, like a pretty dangerous
Well,
cancer type cult. Yeah,
well, they were
yeah,
complaining about this person. Neil and Derek were kind of complaining about this person, but I had ran into this person on X, and this person was just
really,
brutal, like all ad hominem attacks. No, and you're like,
yeah,
and that person's attitude was like, well, what do you know? You're not a scholar. You don't know anything, and you know, even though I'm stating facts that other people, you know, I don't have to be a scholar to be able to read, you know, or whatever. Anyway,
right.
yeah, it's
And
lowbrow, like just attacking people.
yeah,
Anyway,
Angel Woods. Okay,
Old discussion. He wants to just look at these texts and explore them like scientists. Ammon isn't terrified to debate you. Ammon is disinterested. He is bored by you. Most of all, Ammon is just unimpressed by your work. Why would he want to debate you? He's been doing it for way longer than both Luke and you. Why would he debate somebody who can't read Greek? Where is your art? Where is your creativity? You don't have it, so you try to siphon it off.
I want to know what her forehead says. Did you notice her tattoo? I want to know what that says.
yeah, it
Off
says
other people.
mystery in Greek. It says mystery in Greek, I believe.
Oh,
I can't
nice.
think how
So
I can't think of how to
ad
pronounce it
hominem,
right
such
now.
as saying, "Oh, his eyes say that he's lying. He must be like the same thing. Oh, he must be demons possessed. His eyes. Look at his eyes. Right? He has cataracts, and that's none of your business." But actually, excessive eye movement is a sign of creativity and creating mental images and recalling back the things that you've already read. And then he says, "What was it?
You could tell he's lying. When I was back in my late teens, early 20s, before I went to prison, every fucking drug dealer and addict that I ever dealt with, he's a soulless.
Okay, you cannot. I have never ever agreed with what everyone has said about putting this shit on him like this. No, because you
Hey,
don't know.
can I make a comment about the eye movement thing? Can I make a comment about the eye movement thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it is a fact that apparently, like police officers and stuff will use this to determine if someone's lying. So you first determine which the way they look to make up a memory, because a person will look one way to make up to access a memory, and they'll look another way to make up a lie. So there is something to the eye movement thing. So Neil's not completely wrong about that. I'm just saying, but he is like he's just being all ad hominem, like, you know. And there's just like, you know, talk about the scholarship, attack the idea. Like I get bored when people start attacking each other. It's like what do you gain? You know. But
talk
anyway.
about the drugs that HILLMAN is or isn't on? Why even throw it out there? You know.
And what does that got to do with his content? It has nothing to do with it. Like,
right.
You know. Yeah.
It's planting a lot of seeds of doubt needlessly.
Yeah, I feel like when you're making personal attacks, that's because that's all you have left. Like you don't have good arguments. So then that's what I feel like. But anyway.
Yeah.
Human being, I can see it. He's full of shit. He's all about his own ego. He's a complete egomaniac narcissist. That only cares about himself and his clout. I can see it. I know it. I can tell. This dude's evil. And he's a coward. He's a coward and he's scared to debate me.
I just want to clarify one thing.
Ammon HILLMAN, you're scared to debate me, coward.
Ammon doesn't have a soul, that he's an addict, that he's full of shit, that he's a complete egomaniac narcissist that only cares about himself and his clout, that he's a coward, and he's scared to debate me. That's because it's not about you at all. Narcissistic projection is a defense mechanism where an individual unconsciously attributes unacceptable traits, feelings, or faults onto someone else to avoid self-blame and to protect their image while playing the victim. You clearly want Ammon's attention. You want to siphon his energy. The only way to deal with a narcissist is to cut off any access, cutting them off completely. It's not about Ammon, really. It's about how Gnostic sees himself. To say such degrading things to your own followers and congregation because you're just so right about everything says so much about your character. Have you received gnosis? Have you known yourself?
That was a good fucking question. That was a good fucking question. Yeah, I can see that.
Know thyself.
Hillman doesn't really talk about himself, everyone else. Yeah, that's true, Angel. Yeah. Her eyes aren't they? Yeah. Yeah. So it's really interesting that, the way this is all played out, because I've shared her video in the Discord server, and I was wondering where Snappy's dog was in this whole fight going on, because I see it like rivaling cults. Okay. And I'm not in a cult, and I have not tried to gain a cult following. And that has a lot to do with my autism. So I just, people and ADHD. Harder for
Jevim,
people.
I just got a question for you. Did you watch the video that Ammon, because Ammon plays that same video in one of his videos. No, I think you sent it to me, because Snappy comes. Did you see Snappy there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he talks a little bit about how I think he just didn't want to be caught up in the drama, is what my impression was. Like, he's again interested in the scholarship. He's not interested in drama. So that was my impression from Snappy. So, I like Snappy. I think he's awesome. I watch his show lives once in a while, like if I happen to be, not busy. But yeah, I like him. I think he's very poetic in the way he speaks and stuff. So
yeah, Snappy is something else. Let's see. I'm going to go to.
It turns out he's a really good musician too. I didn't know that, but
body percussionist, exactly. Yeah. So we're going to
I used to play bass.
Yeah, we're going to go find.
I keep trying to wrap my head around that. Why does Ammon attract so many musicians, do you think?
Well, it's part of the culture. It's part of the culture.
Yeah. I know it's artists and musicians are artists, but
traditionally were of the alternative path, the more Luciferian path. You're dealing with elitist that had classical.
I don't know, but his message seems to resonate with a lot of musicians for some reason, and that's why I really like the what you want to call it, the community, because there's so many artists, musicians, thinkers, that he's sort of attracted, or and now we're all talking, and I just really think that's one of the best things about what's going on with Ammon, whether you agree with him or not. I've met a lot of amazing people, even yourself. I met a lot of amazing people just because I'm a fan of Ammon, and you can call me an Ammonite if you like. A lot of people don't like that because they feel like, I think it was, who was it that came up with that, Derek or something? So it's
I come up with that. I
Oh,
come
did you
up
come
with
up with
that
that?
a long time
But
ago.
hey, honestly, I'd rather be called an Ammonite than satanic, but that's just me, I guess. It
Yeah.
triggers me a little bit. Triggers me a little bit to be called satanic, but I have my own reasons for that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well, there's a lot of nefarious things that can attribute to, like satanic panic that would cause it to be seen in a bad light. And then I had to learn there was a difference in Satanists and the Luciferians, totally different. And
are the
yeah,
Shriners Luciferians?
huh?
Are the Shriners Luciferians?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. The Shriners, I don't know. They wear
They're
the
Masons,
fez.
right? But yeah, they wear
Yeah.
the fez. They wear the red fez. The red fez comes from Palestine, right? Anyway, I noticed in your little intro, you had the little guy wearing the little red cap. So anyway, we were
I
talking
had to
about that
give
the
him
other day.
a recap. Exactly.
What
Yeah,
was it called?
because of the
Yeah.
whole, and one
Anyway, yeah.
word
So I didn't. I,
for
I know a lot of people who call them Satanists aren't like they're not worshiping the devil. They don't basically believe there is a devil, which is kind of how I feel in a way. Like, because the Bible kind of created the devil, because in the Old Testament, there really is no devil. And then they just slowly demonize all these different cultures and deities over time in
yeah,
favor of Christianity, right? Which is what they did.
which
And you
is all
said that
just
about,
nature principles. Like it's either ancestral
yeah,
worship or
exactly.
nature principles. Where let's take Sibylle and Addis, where like my life has somehow become a Greek tragedy, a lot like Sibylle and Addis, with in-laws and my husband. So it's
Yeah, well,
all a lot of psychology in these myths too. And this is another thing, like the scholars do not get the occulted side of it. And I tried to talk to them, they weren't interested. It's like, no, it's not academia, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, but if you're going to continue to keep the occult side out of it, you're missing a half of the whole.
like a
Because,
huge chunk of it. Yeah, huge chunk of it.
yes,
That's what
yes,
I
that's
realized when I
real.
started diving into the Bible. Yeah, you got to look at
Exactly.
everybody else's sources too. Like you look at the Bible and that's great, but then look at everyone
Mhm.
else's sources around that area at the time and see what was going on, and it gives you the full picture because you're not seeing the full picture if you're only looking at the Bible.
Exactly. If you're only
Well,
looking
that's
at even if you're only just looking at the classical text, okay? What happened then was hidden greatly and possibly over a series of multiple of text over a great span of time. So, yeah. So I
yeah.
wanted to show.
I would like to know what the world looked like before we had writing. That's what I'd like to
Yeah,
know.
I would too. All right, so let's get to Snappy.
That seventh string of reality, right? That practice of justice. People in satanic congregation, can you please cry out for mystery metal? Would you please do that? Bother the world.
Mystery
and bother
metal,
Danny Jones, who is
mystery
walking.
metal.
Danny Jones, you must read the
I love it.
Apocalypse. You must finish.
I love him.
Satanic congregation.
I love watching him at 1.5 speed. It's so funny. It's so funny.
I asked you to say something to Dan Jones. I did. And I don't think anybody did. So now I'm asking you again. Please ask Danny Jones. Continue to read the Apocalypse and receive the vision. Right? Oh God, I love it. Give Danny Jones a hard time. By hard time, I mean tell him what his assignment is, what he must follow up on. All right, fantastic. Put enough pressure on him. Yeah. Right?
I'm so glad that AMMON got another shirt. I'm so glad. It is a good shirt. It's a nice shirt. I like it.
So, Jevim, remember?
That's lovely.
Hey, Jevim, remember I was telling you about the Groypers and Nick Fuentes?
Oh yeah.
About how, like, the Groyper army. That's what Nick Fuentes does. He sends his Groypers out, like he sent them out to Charlie Kirk and all this. So AMMON does that a little bit. Like he's like, oh, telling his Ammonites to go email this guy. I want to debate him or whatever, which I think is like I don't know. That could be a little scary because people can, I feel like, take it the wrong way, and people can be very abusive online, you know? So I feel like people should be
Oh
careful
yeah.
with that stuff, you know? I just feel
Yeah,
like people
because
should be careful with that.
I'm living proof. I'm living proof of how people can take something and run with it and harm other people.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of that going on, I guess, and it's kind of terrible. I personally just ignore it. I don't care what you say to me online, you know? But I mean, then it gets to the point where people are doxing people and giving addresses out and things like this. And it's just
Yeah,
like be a bit of a scary world that way, you know? So I think we should be careful with that kind
right.
of attitude. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But
They, I'm not going to go there. What is that? That's some weird motherfucker. Oh my, yeah, there is, Angel. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. But because of everything I've been through since I left, I don't, what people say about me online no longer affects me as bad as it used to. Like it used to have mental anguish consequences on me, and it doesn't anymore. It doesn't anymore. It
oh,
empowered
that's
me
good.
to dig deeper into what the hell was going on with the mysteries, what the hell was going on with Jesus. And yes, I did reveal a lot of things about Hillman, but he's free now. Nobody else can say, "Oh, look what he did. He's done. That is done and over with." No one can dangle that over his head anymore
Yeah, I feel
whatsoever.
like they're kind of riding on his coattails now
Yeah,
because
they
he
are,
became
and
big.
I really,
Yeah, he became bigger than them, and now they all want to ride on his coattails and get attention through him. That's why they're all so obsessed
well,
with him because it's like gives them clicks, it gives them attention, and you know. But I mean, that's cool. But like, talk about the scholarship. Like, I don't want to hear about your opinion of him personally. I want to know what you think about the scholarship. You know, that's me. That's why I
right,
watch this kind of thing.
exactly.
But
Well, regardless of whether he's right or wrong, what he has stirred in the stagnation pool is a blessing. It has caused me and so many other people to become enthralled with ancient Greek, the ancient text, the cults, the
yeah, me too.
initiation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm
So
learning. I
whether
never thought
you're
I'd be
right or
learning ancient
wrong,
Greek, I tell you.
yeah. So whether Jesus was with a little boy, say 7 years old, or Jesus was with a 14-year-old, it doesn't matter. He was with a boy, so it really doesn't
Right.
matter his
Neoniskos.
age. Right?
Neoniskos. And then
Exactly.
they claim that could mean up to 40, but I mean, there's no way a young man was 40 in ancient times. There's no way. Like when life expectancy was 35, you didn't consider a 40-year-old a young man. Like I know people lived to 65, 70, but I mean, it wasn't very common. And so, you know, I don't think a 40-year-old was ever considered a young man. It's not considered a young man today, is it? Maybe by a 90-year-old it is, but you know, so I
Maybe.
think that's a little absurd. Like they go on about the meaning. He's right about Neoniskos. Like, and the other thing
Right.
is, think about the Spartans and think about in ancient times. Would people have even really cared? Because
There's
that's the way they
pictures
were
of
back
a
then.
Buddha or an enlightened one with young boys around them all the time. There are ascended
Yeah,
masters or masters with young boys.
yeah, yeah. Nero had
The
young.
fishies, the little fishies. I know about them. Is he
Yeah,
not? Is Jesus not called a fisher of men? And men were
yeah.
seen as fishes. Why? Because you know the fertileness of the semen. So I mean, they were seen as fishies, as multiple as fishies in their virility. Hold on, he's back in the kitchen. He was in the bathroom for a while. Must have fixed his. Oh, yeah. Well,
He's
yeah.
cooking again.
Let's get through this. But yeah,
Make his
let's
life
go.
miserable. No, just reminders. They're just reminders. Now, I want people to see something that was sent to me today. This is Snappy, and I want you to see the first and the last part of this video. And I want to say thank you to Snappy because you're conveying things that I can't from the
Snappy
congregation.
looks so good with
And that's
beard,
important. It's very important. So go ahead.
a little beard
Let's put that
mustache.
wizard up there and see what happens.
Welcome to Drawing Down the Dragon. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our discussion today. I wanted to take the time to reflect upon my experience within the Lady Babylon community and my experience of the magical work, right? I was fortunate enough to get to work with Dr. AMMON HILLMAN. He offered me plenty of magical advice, and it was truly rewarding. It led me through multiple paths of initiation, self-discovery, and self-empowerment. And it's been some of the most rewarding experiences of my entire life. It's changed my entire life and led me to find myself and my purpose. It's led me to a place where I am connected to the person I love, where I'm empowered and I feel better than I ever have in my entire life. And for that, I owe Dr. HILLMAN so much because he taught me how to connect to the muse. He brought me to the feet of the muses, and he did it through the sources, through the literature, through the magic of reading and the perception of the word, through understanding how to read between the lines and to recognize the mythopoetic that's behind them, right? And this, to me, is the essence of Dr. AMMON.
The mythopoetic, right? And all is an allegory at that, at best. So, like, when people try to hammer down on this is the way it was, they don't know. They just don't know. They have no idea.
Yeah, it's a lot of speculation, right? How could you yet?
Yeah, exactly.
HILLMAN's teachings, what so many people fail to connect to. The source is paramount. The written word is paramount. The reader is the one who achieves enlightenment through the perception of the word.
Realize that there's a lot of history when he says that, right? When you walk into the Temple of Apollo, you see that Greek expression, know yourself. And those words transmit to you the first eidolon, the first.
Look, if you don't know it and you go to enter in a mystery and you don't know yourself in your own mind, you will lose your mind. Okay? You will lose your shit. Okay? They talk about, oh, this person had so many hits of acid and they went insane and they never come back, blah, blah, blah. That can happen. Your psyche can break.
Yeah.
That's why you have to know yourself. Because
if you don't know yourself, things will be revealed to yourself that you can't handle. Like things about yourself that you don't want to see, right?
Right.
Because people are a lot of times guilty of that, you know, and that's, I think, I believe that totally, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Image that you're to be activating when you enter the vision. When you enter the process, when you enter the ritual that brings you the vision, that's the first eidolon that you're supposed to have in your noggin, right? It starts off, it's the spark for the whole rite. So he's not just whistling Dixie there. That's all very, fantastic. Keep playing.
Through understanding the connections and their intimacies, through reading between the lines and connecting the dots, through forming that magical occulted picture, right? So much has been obscured, off-written, mistranslated, hidden in the marginalia, hidden in the back alleys in the subtext, right?
And that makes it your own personal magical experience. You cannot be handed the mystery. You cannot, because if you are, you will not respect it at all. It's like, when your parents buy you everything, you respect nothing, right? You can't. You just can't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It is there for the active reader. It is there with the one who wrestles with the language, who takes the time to learn and to become intimate with the magic of the word.
Okay, one of the big steps that Snappy is talking about, that he'll continue to talk about in a second, is simply reading a work. What is the process of reading a work? Well, it doesn't matter what the methodology is and all that bullshit theory and bullshit. You don't need that. Just go read something. You want to start out? You want to go meet the devil? Right? Here it is. Lord Byron wrote.
That is so awesome, Chewy. So awesome.
About that mystery that Cain employed. Right? Oh, God. Do you think people, have had access to this stuff long before you and I ever came here? Do you understand? People have had access to this stuff. Do you want to see everything? Do you want to see everything, Satanic Congregation? Cain, a mystery by Lord Byron. By Lord.
Nothing new under the sun. HILLMAN is literally doing nothing new under the sun. Except for maybe Jesus. But
he's revealing a past that people don't want to admit to, is what I think. And that's why it's very triggering, because he's revealing a truth that once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's and it's very triggering to people because it's like threatening their whole world order, right? Like someone like a Christian evangelist. Yeah, like a Christian evangelist who's, but look at the world order. We need to tear down the world order. Look at the world order. It's terrible. but
It
that's my
is. It
opinion.
is. Angel, yeah, a lot of us. It's like they talk about, oh, you had a bad trip, but there is no bad trips, and you always learn something from it and everything. And I'm like, you want to be able to heal and deal with trauma, not create more trauma, you know?
Yeah, good point.
And
Yeah.
you have really bad gurus in powerful places issuing these healing services. Let's really think about it. And a lot of them are just very unethical. We'll say that.
You know what's
Say that.
you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting, Jevim, is that recently they've been proving that these psychedelics can be used for therapy. They've been proving it, right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and of course the medical industry wants to keep it down, and they have been demonizing it. Like MDMA was proved to be very beneficial in therapy, but it has to be a guided therapy, and that's kind of what you're saying, isn't it? So it's the same, really. It's the science is becoming a renaissance, like. I think it's a revival of the old knowledge that's been covered up for so long by the powers that be to keep the powers that be on top, I think. And, tear that system down. I think we need to tear that system down. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Let my people go.
Byron. Oh, God.
Is there any more
This is
snappy?
gorgeous. You know what I just did? For those of you who aren't in the CIA,
I don't remember.
what I just did was
For those of you that are not in the CIA, oh my gosh, somebody tell him I'm not with the CIA. I'm not. I was
Lord. I don't know. You seem to know a lot about MK Ultra.
Look,
it's all making sense now.
I'm a studious hermit. I'll just say that much. I'm a studious
Okay,
hermit.
yeah, no, fair enough. And who accused you? Did someone make a comment that you're in the CIA? I can't see the comment say because it's too small.
I was pulling on this. Look, I'll go back a little bit. Look,
you and I ever came here. Do you understand? People have had access to you. In your mind can activate a process of liberation. Oh, God. What is he talking about? Go read it. And remember, you're going to meet the devil. And when you do, I want...
Oh, shit. I'll run it back too more. Okay.
You and I ever came here. Do you understand? People have had access to this stuff. Do you want to see everything? Do you want to see everything, Satanic Congregation? Cain, a Mystery by Lord Byron. By Lord Byron. Oh, God. This is gorgeous. You know what I just did? For those of you who aren't in the CIA. What
he just did for those of you who
there it
aren't
is.
in the CIA.
Okay. I didn't even catch that the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not in the CIA either. I wouldn't want to be.
A current. I just brought together the lightning with fire and brought to you a current that can activate in your reflections of reality, in your mind, can activate a process of liberation. Oh, God. What is he talking about? Go read it. And remember, you're going to meet the devil. And when you do, I want you in your brain as you're reading to be asking the devil questions. Do you understand? Oh, God. Lovely. Lord Byron. What did Lord Byron? Was that whole Greek thing?
Oh, I love the snakes on the end of the ram horn. Love it. Did you see that? Did you notice that? But
no, I didn't. I was just listening to it because I had my earbuds in as I was driving and I was just listening. So I didn't get all the visuals, but the first time I listened to it, I mean. And now my screen's too small really to see it, and I'm blind because I'm getting old. So anyway, I'll have to watch it again.
Okay, well they're there.
Thing, wasn't it? What's that whole Greek thing? God, see, people, once you meet the muse, and Snappy talks a lot about the muse. Once you meet the muse, there's no going back. She's the beauty of beauties, right? That's it. Life is complete. And that's only going to come to you through the mystery. Why do you think they want to give you this, right? Why do the priests want to initiate you? They want to free you so that you can see the unseen, so that you can know who you are. Oh, God, give me the last minute. Give me the last minute of Snappy there. Snappy makes a lot of great points. Look, this is all on our side here. You can go there, right? And I don't want to, overdo it because most of what he's saying is predicated upon what the muse does, not what I choose. As he pointed out, it's my cheat, right? She's my cheat. And by the way, she showed me Kid Jesus. She brought me Kid Jesus this week. He's a murderous little fucker. Yeah, no. I'm
I
going to
love
show them
it
to
at
you tonight
1.5.
along with the forged Hebrew. Fantastic. This
Straight
is
up
gorgeous.
our
Go ahead.
pleasure.
and how she inspires these truly transcendent women from across time and history, leading them to the heights of the ideal, right? There's so much to be gained when you go to the source, when you read, when you engage, when you search for the muse, when you engage the spirit of history and inquiry, right? And that's what this path has been about for me. You know, I'm less interested in the magic that Ammon is truly focused on engaged. I understand it, right? He is the Count of Monte Cristo. He is invoking the spirit of justice, and he will expose and reveal the evil and the ugliness inherent in that Jesus figure, you know. But I was always interested in the muse that empowered him, the cheat, right? And I was interested in the sources. And that's where the real knowledge lies. That's where the real magic lies. You know, you
Tapping
want to find
into
your
the
muse, be
collective.
like Numa. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found that inspiring.
Tapping into that collective that has no space or time limits is amazing. Absolutely. I miss Snappy so much. Okie day, guys. Let's see. All right. This is where she unloads, right, Blitz? Maddie. Okay. Here's Maddie
Yeah,
part
I've seen
2.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I sped it up too. So this one's not very long, especially since I sped it up.
What's the deal with Neil?
I love her
So they
sweater.
go into Aiskurikia, Aiskrotes.
Aiskrotes, right? Escrotis does not equal philater. It doesn't, because escrotis is an abstract noun that refers to bad things. It's not referring to a person.
A shameful or disgraceful act, as you can see here. Aiskurikian. You could see the context and the other words that are used to describe the sexual act. Our Jesus revealed himself this obscene practice, took her up to the mountain, brought him from his side below his rib, began to mix oneself into with her, sharing discharge emissions.
99% of any classicist that you just put in front of you and you ask this question to, does escrotis refer to fellatio? If they're competent and if they know how to use it, they're going to say no.
Really, no other scholars. I talked to Dr. Elm at Berkeley, and this is what she said to me about this text. Yeah, it is fellatio.
I mean, what these people that are supposedly scholars seem to miss is they used a lot of innuendo in ancient times, right? Like they used a lot of innuendo. They didn't come out and so an indecent act. Well, you know, fill in the blank. But what do you think they're talking about? Look at the context, you know, like and they didn't just say it outright. Like feet could represent the phallic symbol, right? Like in certain verses of the Bible, it's used to represent the phallic symbol, right? So they didn't just necessarily come out and say it, but they're just in denial. These people are fighting real hard against what one word means or whatever. It's kind of because he's tearing down their worldview is what it is, I think. And I don't think Almon's saying that's a good thing, is he? I think he's saying it's a bad thing. That's why he says put on the splash bags, right?
On splash bags. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, he's saying this is a bad thing, but then people take it to think that Ammon is somehow promoting that, and he's not. I don't think, but he is interested in the mystery, like.
Yeah, I had a lot of people get into my head when I left that for a long time convinced me that this was very nefarious.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think Almon's a good guy. He talks about, you know, what's going on in the Middle East a lot, and I agree with him on that a lot, you know, and he doesn't say anything anti-Semitic, but he's also accused of being anti-Semitic. No, he's just spitting facts, and if you don't like the facts, I think it's you that has the problem. But
there was a man told me that the surname HILLMAN was very Jewish. And
okay, yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, it has. It's not anti-Semitic to say stop bombing people. You know,
right?
I don't think.
Exactly.
Is it?
Exactly.
Is that because if
now without being anti this or labeled anti?
Yeah, well, like, and they're literally using religion as an excuse to kill people. That's what they're doing currently.
Yeah,
they're currently doing
well,
this,
they always
and
use
it needs
religion
to.
Yeah.
as an
It needs
excuse to, yeah, the nefarious ones are the ones controlling the narrative at the top, and they're using the narrative to get whatever they want. Almond Hillman is trying to tear that down, in my opinion. That's why I like him, but this is
right.
my opinion, right? I'm not an expert on anything, but I think I hear what he's saying.
I don't
Anyway,
even read.
sorry, what
All
did you
right,
say?
we're going back. I said I don't read the Greek, but I know
No, you
people that
don't?
do, so right? So,
Well,
yes.
Grok reads the Greek. Grok reads the
Yeah,
Greek.
Grok does. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need
Okay,
to.
this
Grok does.
Do you have any idea why he
Yeah.
said idololatria there?
Because he's gaslighting his audience.
Yeah, he just wanted to throw out a random
He's
word.
throwing in a random word from a different part of Paul. And idolatry. What does that have to do with the passage about escrotes?
Gnostic is acting like he's never heard of that word before.
This idolatry, which is funny. We translated idolatry, but it's porneia, and they translate the Victorians translated porneia as idolatry or fornication.
Are you serious? That's the word?
Yeah, yeah. So what is idolatry / fornication? Right? It's sexual rights, and the mysteries were known for that. You know,
Idolatry and fornication are intermingled. The word porneia, here it is in the LSJ. If you go back to Old Lady Babylon episodes and find Aphrodite's inspiration, Ammon talks about Ezekiel 23, Oula and her porneia.
what is that? Look at Ishune and you see shame or dishonor. When they say number in Roman numeral number 3 at the bottom, see how it says later? We are there, people. And what does it equal? It equals idoion, that which requires shame.
Mm.
Yeah, the private parts.
So what is that shameful act?
The princes uncovered her private parts. And what else did they do? It says the ekheo. They poured out or squirted out on her.
He thinks that idolatry is a sexual
An Ammonite, the average Ammonite just thought that was some point that he made. They don't know what he just said.
Yeah.
But you and I are looking at him going, what are you talking about?
This says, and sending them a message to keep off the pollution of the eidolon and the porneia, the image, the idol, and the porneia, and the strangulation and the blood.
Okay, I want to hit on that strangulation thing and it being part of the mystery. Angel, the pull out man.
Oh Lord.
Okay, it is very much part of a mystery because think flatliners, right? It is very much part of a mystery because your consciousness goes somewhere during that time.
Yeah.
Your consciousness leaves your body, right? You
Yeah,
go
right.
to a different.
Right.
So
And like that. 100%. And so like the resurrection of Jesus, like surely that represents the mystery, does it not? That's literally what they're saying. Yeah. Like you die and return, and now he's enlightened because he's died but yet he didn't die. And that is the mystery pretty much, right? But they don't want to see it. They don't want to admit that it's there, but it's there, I think.
It is there. Yeah. Yeah. Choking her out. Yeah. So she passes out.
That's a sexual thing too, right? There was a famous actor that died that way. What was his name? Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh, no. You
don't remember that? Who was? But that is, and it's like the mystery he's saying. The mysteries are all tied back in the day, right? And it's true, the temple goddesses and everything. Don't know how you can deny that, but that's pretty well known, right? That's pretty well known, right? I mean, it was pretty crazy back then, by the sounds of things. Kind of glad I didn't live then, to be honest.
But
I mean, there's crazy. Well, there's crazy things going on today too. We probably
See
wouldn't have
what
what?
is
Sorry.
what is that Greek interliner Acts 15:12 in English? Instead, we should write to them, tell them to abstain from food polluted by idols, from sexual immorality, from the meat of strangled animals, and from blood. Very interesting.
What source is that? Do you
Text
know?
burning
By
purple
chance?
does not exist in any single
Huh? What'd you say?
The one you were just reading from. Do you know what that text was? What the source was? I'll have to watch it again. I'll check it out
Yeah.
again. I always like to
This
check
says,
out the source.
yeah, interliner online.
Okay. Well, I'll look back
Maybe
on it
it's
and see. And I think that's what people, and that's what AMMON encourages people. Look at the source yourself. If you don't believe me, learn Greek and read it yourself, right? So.
Right. And learn etymology. Etymology is so important. Yeah, because if you don't know etymology or figure out how to find the etymology, you're just going to kind of spin around in circles like what is going on. And you're not going to be able to connect.
They say they've changed how they understand etymology, though, as well. That's what Luke Gorton said during their debate. Is they used to go sounds like, and that's because and now and Bart Ehrman made an example of just because they used a word in a different reference doesn't mean that it means that same thing in a different culture, which both things can be true at the same time, which is what gets complicated with etymology, I think. And like you say, we're just guessing because we really don't know because we weren't back there. But so there's a lot of debate, I guess.
Right. Tons.
But I think people are very biased, though. They tend to lean towards whatever goes with their bias, right?
Of course. Yeah, because we don't want to be, we don't want to feel we're in the wrong, right? We don't want people to.
Well, I think it's embarrassing to admit you've been fooled, maybe.
Yeah, it
Mark
is.
Twain said it's easier to fool someone than to convince them they've been fooled.
I believe that too. Yeah, I don't try to convince
anything
anymore. All right, I'm going.
Sorry, go.
Text burning purple does not exist in any single primary source from antiquity ever. And I said there's only one source from Dioscorides where he uses the term purple when burnt.
Neil said that he'd apologize to Ammon if somebody showed him the burning purple in a source outside of Dioscorides.
It's not active. And I said, if you can provide me one single primary source that mentions burning purple in some sort of cultic use, I will, and I forgot what I said. I said, like, I'll apologize to Ammon or something.
Oh, but there's one thing that you missed in Dioscorides. You forgot to look for the burn. You were just looking at the purple. You forgot to look for the burning. Here it is. If Neil actually read that text, then he would see that not only was it burnt to create a plaster or powder, but it had a caustic, corrosive sensation on the skin. So I asked one of my friends who recently acquired some of this purple. He said that it does have this tingling sensation.
Yeah.
As you can see here, he got it all over his hands. And he said, imagine how much more amplified that tingling and burning sensation would be if mixed with venom. It would be a waste of my time to go through 4 more hours of this, but there is one more thing to show you.
What you just said made no sense. It's nonsense. You're an idiot. Come on my channel and let's go through this. Let's have a discussion. Nope, they don't want to do it. LH did not. LH turned down to come on here because he's a fraud. Because he's either if he's intelligent at all, he's a fraud.
This is not going up.
Okay. Here's the thing, Neil. Nobody wants to go on his freaking channel and be dogged into a corner because all he knows is that it's like a courtyard, you know, and it's just, he's very full on and very intimidating, and it's no.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I don't blame
I
people for
said
not talk to him.
I told LH I'd do it. I wouldn't let someone someone call me a cockroach unanswered, because that's what Neil calls them. And again, lowbrow insults instead of attacking the scholarship. You know,
Exactly.
it just shows that you got
And
nothing
you
else.
cannot talk the cult. You
I
cannot
have
talk about.
I have purple references for Neil though to look at. There's all kinds of references to the Murex in the Bible. The Murex is where the purple comes from, right? There's a Bible or a verse that talks about the treasures hidden in the sand. It's talking about the Murex. It was very important to their economy. It's all over the place. There's the royal purple, you know, it's tied to royalty and religion. You have to be blind not to see the purple. It's everywhere. Like, you're just not looking for it.
It's in ancient America. The wampum shell was purple. It was used as literal money. And there are ancient caves in my neck of the woods where purple from ocean shell was discovered. So it is literally everywhere.
I didn't know that.
So
Where is it at? Where is that at? Oh, I'd like to look into that. You should
I'll
show.
have to dig it up and send you. Yeah, I'll send
Send
you
me
the
something on
info.
that. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, send that to Neil too. That's so cool. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Oh wow!
That's so
I
cool.
mean, and I wanted to offer to Maddie, you know, if I can dig it up. Neil sent me an email going on and on and on about the purple. So he is
Oh, there you
just
go.
playing.
He knows. He knows. He sees it
Yeah.
too, but he just is mad at AMMON. So, and like, get over it,
he's
dude.
riding
Like,
the
let's talk.
coattails.
Like, get over the yeah, well, that too. But I mean, Neil's got a pretty big channel too, and he has some good guests. I'll give him that. And I enjoy watching Neil still, but I just think, yeah, he needs to take the high road and look at the scholarship, you know. But that's, you know, up to him, right?
I think that maybe they all should leave Hillman alone and try to venture out into different areas instead of this extreme capitalism on Hillman's work and other people's work.
Yeah,
you know?
and in a sense, they're trying to profit from his work, and that's true because they're all monetized, and Hillman is not monetized, which kind of blows me away.
Yeah, and that's what their whole channel is about. Is now it seems like it's all become, you know, we have to prove him wrong. To me,
and it is, and I'll be, you know, I am entertained. So what the heck? I'm a fan of it all.
I am entertained, but here's the bottom line: Jesus was in a cult. Jesus was an initiate, and Jesus, you know, if he was in the cult,
had the Magi visit him and give him a bunch of gold so he could go to Egypt and study, right?
Exactly.
It's all in the Bible, but like, it seems like the apologists, because they very much lean on the very old way of thinking, which is what the narrative that the Bible pushed from the King James, right? And it's like, yeah, but you're only looking at one source if that's all you're seeing. But it's amazing when you start
talking King James to me. I start laughing. Oh my God, I start laughing. I'm just like.
It's my favorite version, though, to be honest. And when I think of the Bible, that is what I think. Yeah, I love it. It's just because it's the way they.
I think it's the midrash that you can get very allegorical with it, and you're actually allowed to do that. And with
I think there's a lot of good philosophy. There's a lot of good philosophy, like the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. That's true, no matter what you think. I mean, Look at, there's 3,000 people that control 70% of the wealth in the world. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. That's a true statement. And AMMON says, what is it? How does he put it?
Greed stains the soul with the stench of ruin.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And so that's a Greek concept, but it's a true concept. And it probably always has been since since the day we invented money. It was probably true, right?
Ammonites got references on steps to dyeing cloth like heating burn water. Yeah. I think I know what you're saying, Paula. If it is caustic and coercive, she's talking about the burning purple. If it's caustic and coercive just on your fingers, could you imagine where it was?
What it's in your eye? Yeah, if it's or
up
your woo-woo or something. Yeah. Oh, and it would be.
Well, I've gotten iodine in my eyes, and I've got peppermint oil in my eyes.
So here's a little bit of science on the Murex. The Murex injects a venom into its victim to eat it, right? So that purple would be a venom. It would be a venom. And the only way you can absorb a venom in ancient times was either through the eye, like Revelations 3:18 says, or other mucous membranes, if you know what I mean. And that's a known thing to this day. They didn't have hypodermic needles, so that's how they had to do it, right? Yeah, so the science is there. He's not wrong about the science. He's dead on with the science, I think. That's why he's so fascinating, because I'm more of a scientific guy. I'm an electronics technician and I'm a scientific guy, right? So that's what I really appreciate about AMMON. But anyway,
I think here's what Paula said. Yes, Blitz, and the church purposefully left off the word love. Remember, Mary's midwife got her fingers burnt. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, purple fingers. Yeah. That's true. Most people think the saying is that money is the root of all evil, but that's not correct. It's the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. That's the full quote. But yeah, for years we were.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was just saying, for years we were told this is what the saying is, but that's not true. You need money to live and all this stuff, and it was a way to kind of like distract from the true message, I think, in a way, or it certainly did distract from the true message. You miss the message when you only get half of it.
Yeah.
Which is what the King James.
The other half of the message, and it goes back to what Fat says about Mary's midwife got her fingers burnt. The psychedelics taken together will bond you to one another. It produces group cohesion, right? Group cohesion and the form of oneness. You feel like you found your family. You feel like you found your home. And especially when you marry someone. And you do psychedelics at a marriage.
Can I tell you a psychedelic story, Jevim?
Yeah, sure. I'd love it. Here, let's give you front. Hold on.
So we used to do this canoe trip, and we'd all make what we called funny chocolate. So put like mushrooms and wheat oil, and the chocolate seems to trigger the mushroom a bit, and then we get all like happy and giggly and paddle down the lazy river and just have the best time. And like, yeah, I felt like it was like a trip, like it was like a mystery, you know, and that we kind of discovered. We sort of created it, but it's very much like the mystery, right? And you're right, there is a bonding, like this group we have, you know, that we do this. It was just like such a positive experience, but like our society tells us, oh, well, that's wrong, drugs are evil, all this, you know, and you know, you're missing out on the mystery. It's sad, right?
Exactly. It's part of the big mystery. Like I've been wondering, like everything I've been through with my husband, I'm like, why in the world am I still here? Why am I doing it? And I ventured out and did some things, but it was not nefarious. He knew about everything I did. Like I didn't leave the home, but he knew everything I did. So I was like, why? And I was so puzzled. Why? And my mind kept going back to the time when we had done psychedelics and this deep meditation. And we actually, I don't know if he's seen it. I seen it. The Merkaba bodies of light. Like
Oh yeah.
when you have, when the upside down triangle and the upright triangle come together, that is a figure. It is a 6 point. And if you
Yeah.
do psychedelics with someone that you already have a
Sacred
deep
geometry,
connection
right?
with, yeah, and it's that whole Shiva Shakti, right? Like Shakti is on top of Shiva, and that is the position that we were in, that I had seen this actual body of light. And I'm like, this is the only thing that makes sense to me as to why I would still be so bonded to someone that otherwise has not really been the best for me. So it's like, okay, this makes sense. This makes absolute sense. So it is a way
My,
to bond people together.
yeah, I think people end up together because they're equally yoked. That's what I believe. Like, that's what I
EDM
believe,
says
for whatever that means. Yin and yang, I guess, but equally
yeah,
yoked. That's what I
and it's
think. I mean, that's
possible.
me and my wife. Like me and my wife. I mean, like we're a pair. Trust me. Anyway,
There's something to the women that see the stars when they get orgasmic too, because I remember for like the first time, my mother married me off when I was like 16. Okay, I was pretty much a child bride, and but when I had started having sex regularly at like 14 for like a whole year, every orgasm I somehow was like projected out into stars, and I was like, "What is this about?" And that is part of the mystery too, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it
I
all
believe
boils
that. Yeah.
down to and sex. It really does.
Yeah, well, we're
In
all
good
chemicals, right? So we are
ways.
chemicals. Like our brain is just triggered by chemicals, and there's there's an Indian guru that talks a lot about that. How you're a chemical factory, and you got to produce the right chemicals to be happy, right? And he's very
Right.
against like drug use, though. He's very against drug use, but he's more about the chemicals in that your own body produces and how to do that, and like through
Yeah.
breathing and things like this, you know.
Well, I
Yeah,
did that
so
like 24 hours or 48 hours without food. We were doing a strong fasting during the summer, and then we had like some really good watermelon. It was as good as any fucking sex session I had ever had in my
yeah,
life.
oh yeah,
You know,
if you're
so
hungry,
food is
yeah.
a drug as well. If your body is in the position where it can make these chemicals with just a little bit of input, yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, you know what? I was watching. I was I think it was you that posted it. That Neil did that live with the guy. He was a fairly small channel, but I did watch it, and that guy was talking about how starvation in ancient times was a reoccurring thing, right? And it would, trigger certain chemicals in your brain that we no longer are really doing anymore. And that's how we lived for
Yeah,
like hundreds of thousands of years, right? And there's something spiritual about it. And I
there's
think he
certainly.
made a good point. I had never thought of that before, but yeah, I think there's something to that. Like starvation is, yeah,
Well, there's another nefarious side that Americans don't know a whole lot about. When you do a fast and you fast for a long time, you are killing off microbiomes, parasites that have been in there for I don't know how
yeah.
long. And we get them from everywhere, and everybody has them, and there's no shame in it. But it keeps
They
big
even claim you
pharma.
can cure cancer. They even claim you can cure cancer with it. Like starvation can, because your body will eat the bad cells.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 That's how I've lost so much weight. I've lost so much weight because I am conscious of what I eat. I am conscious of fasting. It's a daily ritual for me now. Food
Yeah,
is
there was a
medicine.
Japanese, There was a Japanese scientist that actually won a Nobel Prize for proving that your body, when it goes into starvation, will eat the bad cells. It was pretty recently too, like within a year. So, and I remember a guy taught, like, he was totally called a wacko, but he had a clinic where he was basically starving people to cure their cancer, and he was proving that it was working. But he was like totally by the the people that sell the cancer drugs said he was a quack and there was no proof and all this. But now a guy has actually proved it, which I thought was very cool. They're still not. Imagine if the cure for cancer just costs nothing at all. Just don't eat, you know. But where's the profit in that? Where's the profit in that though? There lies the problem. If the cure is free, you're never going to hear about it.
No. And see, this is something else too that I feel like that AMMON offers, right? Is the freedom of choice for one. I choose to, like the one guy, I forgot his name, Steve. He takes the snake venoms. He loves it. He believes it helps him in some way. Does that make him a better person? Possibly, probably. Is he hurting anyone else?
No, exactly. Who's he hurting? Nobody. He's not hurting anyone.
Right.
Another scientific thing I find interesting about AMMON. He talks about how, and he gets it from Galen, where the Templarist priests would cut their arms and wrap the purple, and they absorb the venoms, and it would create antibodies, and it would be the anti-venom or the antichrist, as he calls it. So again, that's scientifically proven. They use horses to create antivenoms in the same manner. They eject horses with little bits of venom, and then they harvest the antibodies. That's how in modern times they create antivenoms. So the science, he's so bang on the science. That's what amazes me. But he says, read the text. It's in the text. It's all there. But those texts.
Everyone else is pulling away from this scientific aspect and the truth of it because
they're triggered by. Yeah, they're triggered by the texts, and a little bit. He may do that a little bit because it does get more. I mean, I don't know why he does it, but I mean, it's like, for me, like a text that, like Epiphanius is the one, because he talks a lot about that greater questions of Mary. Do you know which one I'm talking about? And that's the text they're all arguing about. Well, that's literally the text they're arguing about, like with the Madalena video you played, about whether that word means fellatio or not. That comes from that text, the greater questions of Mary, but it was actually Epiphanius talking about the text. We don't actually have the actual text. And it's like 350 AD that Epiphanius was talking about it. So it's well after Christ was around.
It's after the fact. It's all after the fact.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what the hell they're talking about except.
But it is what the Gnostics were doing, though. It is what the Gnostics were doing, and that's what the text proves.
They were having a lot of drug parties with a lot of sex. Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, we're discussing Maddie's videos. If you don't know Maddie's videos, you've got to go check her out. Hold on, let me get back here. Temple of the Muses. Hold on. I'll pull her back up. You've got to go check her out and give her a follow. She is amazing. And she's going to wear some shit kickers and stomp mud holes in people's asses. I feel it. I actually found her on TikTok. And then I found her over here on YouTube. And Neil better not talk bad about her because I'll get on his ass. They lied to us about everything. Breakfast, food period. Yeah, they did. They did,
and they still do.
We are not doing a commentary on that 3-hour interview. I don't watch a whole lot of the stuff. I watch Maddie because I like her pushing back on Neil. Well, the last 20 minutes was epic. Okay, I'll go watch it. Maybe I'll watch it at 1.5. That's the only way I can watch HILLMAN is to get sped up because it's so funny. She did roll
He's
through your
he's
feed. Good. We're
yeah. I
cuddling
listened to
King.
it. I listened to it after you told me about it. It's actually really good. You should watch it. It's pretty good. But I mean, it's a lot of concepts he's talked about before. It's not, if you've been watching Yellman for a long time, it's he's been talking about this stuff for a long time. But he's just telling you, and he is. This is what this text says, and then you decide what it means, I guess. And then he's trying to equate that to what it says in Mark 14:51 and 52, right? Like he's trying to show the connection, I think. But like you say, who knows? Like for sure, who knows even who wrote Mark or why he wrote Mark or what he was trying to say? I mean, it's kind of open for interpretation because it's like any artwork. Like if you look at a painting or something, an abstract painting, it means different things to different people, I think. But I believe the mystery. I do believe the mystery is hidden within the story, the Gospels. It's there, and the
I
purple
think
is
the
all over
mystery
the
is
Bible.
different for everybody. I think that's
Yeah, like
why
you
the
say,
Bible is so
know
open.
thyself, right? Know thyself, right?
And that's why the
And
Bible
it,
is so open for interpretation and why there's been wars over this shit forever. It's time to end it. It's
yeah,
time
like
to
because
end all this.
they interpret it for you and then like convince you that that means you're allowed to go kill someone and take their land. Like, and then people, and that's the sad, you know, and that's literally what they're doing right now. So
And
that's
Paula said
terrible.
our writings are 50 to 200 years after Yeshua, Talmud 200 AD. You're glad to
Yeah,
hear.
like I did.
Look, Search Chaser. I want to tell you right now that people can grow, people can evolve, and they need to be allowed to grow and allowed to evolve. Because if you do not allow people to grow and evolve, then you have not grown enough yourself. And I dig and take the connections and try to offer some form of input from an occulted side with an occulted eye, because I've studied the occult for going on 30 years. And these cults, for some reason, have just been dormant in my wheelhouse until recently, the past 2 years. Hillman
I
lacks
find it.
biblical and other text references. Well, there's
I
a lot
find
of
it.
people that say that he's purposely misinterpreting a lot of the Greek.
I know. That's what they
I
claim.
don't know. I can't say that he would do
He,
that
he's
on purpose.
interpreting it. He's interpreting it from his perspective. That's what he's doing, and I don't think he's lying, intentionally misleading anyone or anything like that. He's reading it from his perspective, and his perspective is Galen. He knows the medical texts, and this is what he says. He doesn't pull any punches, I don't think. But yeah.
Wasn't that Nero's physician? Was that Nero's physician,
Yeah,
Galen?
I think so, or not Nero. It was, yeah, or one of them, one of the emperors. I was gonna say, what's the one that starts with an M, but it's not coming to me right now. Marcus Aurelius, I think.
Research.
I think it's Marcus Aurelius. Yeah.
The truth must win. Yeah, it will. It will. And not to blow smoke up anybody's ass, but I am working on a video where I'm putting together pieces that basically prove him correct. Not in the ancient text, but in text from people who were initiated, who were in these secret societies, who did read the ancient text. And then there's other people, women's perspectives, that tell us, what are these connections? What are these codes? Because you have to learn to read the code. It's like I was telling you, Blitz, like women, where the cow was woman, was the feminine. Why? Well, because cow's gestational period is the same as a woman's, 9 months.
Yeah. There's also the
And,
Egyptian. There's the Egyptian goddess, right? That's the cow. What is it called? Hethea or something like that? I forget what it's called. But Hathor, and then they also eliminated Asherah, right? Because Asherah used to be venerated in the Levant or in ancient Canaanite, and they demonized her. And that was like King Josiah when he wanted to centralize power in Jerusalem. He tore down all the Asherah poles, centralized power. It's always been the same old story. It's always been about power.
Exactly.
Whether it be over women or over men too. It's not just women that are being.
Lilith is just a natural force that occurs in some women with postpartum depression. These are.
But I mean, that's why the oracles of Delphi were women, right? The oracles of Delphi were women, and that's why, because Gaia, Mother Earth, was the deity they venerated when they discovered the fissure that they built the temple on. And it was a drug thing too. They huffed the ether coming out of the ground, and then they would like have visions, and these visions would be interpreted. But it was the women, yeah, it was the women doing it. They were the oracles.
And women were also seen as androgynous because they were able to birth both sexes. Okay. Or all three sexes if you're looking at an intersex person, right? So what is it about the woman, right? Is before, I guess, they knew that the male determined the sex of the child, and the woman was seen as androgynous because she was able to birth both sexes. Paula said, Hillman purposefully snubbed cuneiform and the people who know more than he does because it would challenge his narrative. You have to.
So this is the one point that I don't agree with AMMON on, is that the Septuagint was written in Greek and then Hebrew is 100% a fabrication. There's too much evidence otherwise. There's a story about the Hebrew inscription that talks about a tunnel that they built, and when they met in the middle, they could hear each other talking. And they talks about that tunnel in the Bible, actually. There's way too much proof. I don't think someone like scratched that on the wall, like, 3,000 years ago so that they could fake Hebrew. I mean, or whatever, or the Kenef Hanam scrolls that were the priestly blessing in Paleo Hebrew, which is a lot like Phoenician. AMMON claims that it's Phoenician. It's not. It's the same alphabet, but different language, right? But it's different dialects. It's almost the same language even. So there's too much evidence of Hebrew. I just don't buy that one. And I'm biased because, Sula Bennett's Cana Bosum in Greek, they translated it to Calamus. And that was a mistranslation, in my opinion. But that's where me and AMMON don't. That's where me and AMMON don't agree, and LH, we don't agree on that one. But I look at the evidence, and then they're guilty too. They're biased too, because you can show them the evidence, and they'll just no. AMMON says that was Phoenician. It's not Phoenician. They know it's Hebrew, and they know Phoenicians and Hebrews use the same alphabet, So he can be very biased too, I find. We all can be biased, right? I wish I could read the comments. They're so small. What does it say?
He says, I get a real kick thinking of an ancient bag of dildos.
Ever been to Greece? There's dicks everywhere in Greece. Ever go to Greece, Jevim? It's like there's just dicks everywhere. Like there's little like keychains with dicks on them, and there's like it's just everywhere in Greece. Like it still is. They're not as uptight as we are in North America, though.
Yeah. No, the cuneiform text 30,000, the Enuma Elish long before the Hebrew.
Yeah, the cuneiform Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is the oldest story, and it's where they got the flood story from in the Bible, and it's also where they got the Garden of Eden story in the Bible, Gilgamesh. I mean, I don't know how you can deny that. Like unless you're extremely biased, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's true that like the New Testament was written in Greek.
It was.
And it refers to the Septuagint. That is true, 100% true. And the Septuagint likely put all these texts together in a cohesive sort of narrative. And then, I think there is some truth to what AMMON's saying, but it's not like 100% that they just created it out of nothing and then faked the Hebrew. Like no, I don't believe that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But
Condoleezza says, I love dicks. In fact, says I
Go.
love turtles
You,
and acorns.
you need to go to Greece.
I love whip. I love whip, and I love frogs. Let's see, where's the frogs?
Frogs.
And I love snakes.
Can I tell my frog joke? Hey Jevim,
Yes,
can I tell my frog joke? What does a
yes.
perverted frog say? What does a
I don't
perverted
know.
frog say?
I don't
Rub it,
know. Rub it. Oh my
rub
God.
it.
That reminds me
Sorry.
of like the swastika. Let me tell you this. The swastika was also known as a different name. And it was, I think it was flip flop or flip flop.
Yeah, it was
They,
adopted. It was adopted. It wasn't. They didn't
if you
invent it. It was adopted.
say it real fast, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, it sounds like galloping horses. That is literally what the swastika means. It is the ancient horse cultures. Yes, and the name flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. Yeah, it's an actual name. Hmm.
Doesn't it come from? It comes from like India, doesn't it? The swastika. It comes from India or something like that, and it's pretty ancient too. It's not
It's
like
ancient
the
Aryan. Yeah, and now they're saying it's from like the Caucasus. Mhm.
the what? The Caucasus? What's that?
It's like come from the Caucasus and went down through, I guess, the Hindu Kush. Yeah.
You know what? They had it in North America too, though. I
Oh
seen a
gosh,
corn
go
palace.
shovel more snow, Kundalini.
We
Stay
got plenty
warm
here.
though.
Oh, what's the weather like,
We
by the way? Did you guys get hit with the storm or
nothing. We got
no? You're
rain.
good? Oh, that's good.
Didn't even
No
freeze.
ice.
No, didn't
Oh, that's
freeze.
good.
No
That's good.
ice. No
It's
slipping
a
or
huge,
sliding.
it's a huge blizzard here right now. It's like you can't even see it.
Well,
It's totally a whiteout, and I get to go to work now, so this should be fun. Eh?
well, you're in Canada, so
Yeah, I'm in
fuck you guys.
At least there's no ice
What?
though. It's all just snow. That's better than ice.
Yeah, yeah. It's
F,
a lot better than.
fuck ice, right? As in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, okay. Is it a coincidence that all this snow and ice is coming while, stormtroopers are just running amok?
Yeah. Ice is just like, oh, they're out of control. They're out of
Yeah.
control. Scary stuff.
You got,
Anyway,
you only got a foot. Well, that's good. That's good. Okay, Paula, what'd you say? The swastika and sacred Germany symbols are older than any religion. Yeah, fuck ice. It is a movement. It's a movement and a wheel. It's a movement and wheel and power, and it's horses. Horse culture. It's all it is. But you also got to think too. Where is that swastika, that flip flop? Where is it? It is in Native American traditions too.
yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. I was surprised to see that it was a corn palace, and they had a big swastika on it. And it was back like in the 20s, and they didn't think of anything of it at the time because that was before the Nazis had come to power, right?
Right.
And I was like, wow, like so the North American natives had it too, like so that was who knew? Yeah, like makes you wonder though, like how it's like the 100 monkeys washing potatoes, right? How did they know? How did that information transfer? When they
Collective consciousness.
yeah,
It's why
must be. We're all connected. We must be.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh yeah. That's why we get downloads. That's why we get information and insights. And a lot of people's like, oh, I'm so gifted. I hear voices of the angels and they tell me things that are true and everything. I don't know what spirits are doing what or what patents through these machines are doing what. What I am concerned about mostly is what you're doing harming someone else, or is it helping someone else? Is it helping humanity? Is it helping the world somehow? Is it going to bring some form of peace somehow?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's what should matter. But in this money-loving world, it isn't what matters. But
It is in the sky. Yeah, it's supposed to be the pole, the North Pole, like the movement of the North Pole. I've heard that, the swastika. But the research I found, it goes back to the ancient horse cultures. So I don't know.
and it represents the hooves and the sound that it makes. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. One of the name
Interesting.
of the swastika was flip flop. Flip flop or
Yeah, flip flop. Yeah, there you go. That's what you said. Yeah,
flip
yeah that's
flop,
cool.
something like that. I
And
was
it's
reading
kind of the
it and I
sign
was
of
like,
man.
wait a minute. And then I said it and then I started saying it really fast and I was like, we're overthinking a lot of these ancient texts, y'all. Okay? We really are overthinking it. I think we're overcomplicating a lot of it. We need to try to simplify it and calm our brains down. If we can calm our brains down, we can maybe allow better answers to come. There won't be so much doubt in these ancient
Well,
texts. So I don't
I
know.
think people put doubt on it because they utilize the text to push their agendas, and that's where it all goes wrong, right? And I always believed that it was when Constantine adopted Christianity, that's kind of where everything changed, right? Because before that, Christianity was much more diverse, and then he forced it
Yes, it
into an
was.
imperial box, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was all
but
kinds of different types of Christianity, you know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, but it's amazing when you start like looking into it how different and diverse it was, like than what the fairy tale that we've been sold, right?
Yeah. We've been sold a huge fairy tale. Like Jesus was this pure thing that helped uh, push a Puritan type culture. And, you know, and I'm sorry, but here's the long and short. Fats, this is the best blasphemy I got for you. Women are leaving Christianity in droves. Where's my whip? Where's that? Women are leaving Christianity in droves. Why? Because there is a stronghold with the patriarchy. Women are done.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just done. They're done.
It's because
They're
they're
starting.
going to uni. It's because they're going to uni. That's why they're studying, they're learning, and so now they're
Yeah.
seeing that. Oh, wait, that's not true. Wait a minute, that's not true,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And men are
We
doing it
got
too, though. Like, ain't even
young women like
even
Maddie that just don't give a shit about these dudes and will say what needs to be said and doesn't pull punches. So yeah, let's see what's
but
back. Yeah, it's
they
got to
say
keep up.
they say
They
ed,
roam today. Hmm.
they say education is killing religion. That's what they say. Like period, across the board, not just women, like men and women in the Middle East, like people from Iran and stuff. They don't want this oppressive Islamist regime anymore because they're being educated, you know. So
Right, right. Because they had to dumb us down to get us under control in ancient
right,
times.
to get us to obey.
Yeah. And you know, I'm totally down with, you know, if you want to worship nature, worship it. There's nothing wrong with worshiping nature. There's nothing
No.
wrong. If you see it as sacred, maybe you'll take better care of it. You know,
Yes,
if you see
exactly,
it as sacred,
100%.
you will not reap it until there's nothing left.
Right, 100%. Well, actually, I believe that's what the if you read the Gilgamesh story about how they cut down the cedar forests, I believe that's kind of where the Garden of Eden getting us kicked out of paradise. It was our knowledge of metallurgy, because we figured out how to clear cut the cedar forest of Lebanon. You know, I think that's what it means, but that's just my hypothesis. But
I think Eve is just one of many women who have been nailed to a male cross. And Jesus is nailed to a tau cross. If you look in a lot of them, it's the T cross, right? that is very feminine. So I've had
my point
different-
is, if you're worshiping Mother Earth, you're not going to clear cut her forests. That's my point.
Right. Yeah. And I believe that too. I believe that, Paula. I believe that because people are waking up to the truth of who and what we really are and what we can do, our sovereignty. And these people, I mean, they get kind of outed. They do. People that think that they're super special. A lot like Neil. This is mine. My state of Missouri was entirely a cedar forest. By 1850, it was completely clear cut, and logged. Hey, we've been packing, and I've been going through a lot of stuff because we're downsizing as we're moving, and I found a pamphlet that I had picked up a couple of years ago that listed all of the known creatures that are now extinct in the Appalachia. It is utterly heartbreaking. There used to be polar bear. There used to be.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there used to be polar bear in the Appalachia, and there used to be, what is it? Not parakeet, a parrot, like a certain type of parrot. And we're not subtropic.
Doesn't it just go to show we never learn a thing, though? Doesn't it go to show we never learn a thing? We've been doing it since ancient times, cutting down the forest. Then we feel bad about it and write stories about it, but then we just keep doing it anyway, because we never learn anything from history.
Yeah, we still live to excess, right? Just because things are plentiful does not mean that we should live in excess.
Or especially the ones that their sensation for wealth can never be satisfied, like their desire for wealth. And that's the real problem. And it's really just a handful of people. There's only 3,000 people that control 70% of the wealth in the world. Like the billionaires.
I think the one child had like 500 trillion in wealth assets or some shit. In fact, said Rome couldn't rule the world without wood for boats. Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, what did he say? Sorry, can you read it again?
Rome couldn't rule the world without wood for boats.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Yep. And the Solomon's temple was said to be built out of the cedars of Lebanon, actually, and they still call it the cedars of God.
Those are Mama's trees.
There you go.
The trees were seen as feminine in ancient times.
They're actually hermaphrodite. Cedar trees are hermaphrodite. They have both male and female gender, and they self-produce. They don't.
I need some cedars. We've got pine all around us. Angel said I saw black bear in Spruce Pine, North Carolina. There's black bear all through the Appalachia, girl. All through it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's black bear up here too. Yeah. There's black bear everywhere. At least I'd rather a black bear than a polar bear, that's for sure. A polar bear will just eat you. The black bear will just eat your food. The polar bear will eat you. So you should be glad there's no more polar bears. But anyway, I should really go. I should get going soon. No, I gotta get ready for work soon. So.
All right. One more thing, Jevim. Yes, Mother Nature, our sovereign identity. Hey, Blitz, there are specifics on who cut down the trees. You all are in the same Discord server, so you all can talk about that if you like. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for hanging out. That was Paula, who is Lone Wolf in the Discord server.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Lone Wolf. Yes, I remember Lone Wolf. That's cool. Okay, well, yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
I love it. I'm sorry our delays are a little, we kind of talk over a little bit each other, and I'm sorry for that. But we are a bit far away.
Yeah. And there's a storm. Probably the storm.
It could be.
If the storm doesn't help, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think my internet's the best right now. But anyway, well, it's nice talking to you again.
Nice talking to you too. Let's do it again. Let's do it
Yeah, for
again.
sure.
I'm gonna go
For
have to
sure.
watch the last 20 minutes of that video for Kundalini, and I don't know. Everybody's blocked me, so what I say doesn't matter anyway. But I'll
Yeah,
go
well,
watch it.
their loss, right?
Nice beard, face in person to meet you. Nice to meet you in person, she's saying. And yeah, doesn't he have a gorgeous beard? It's like 2 feet long. All right.
All right. See you
Bye,
later.
guys. Bye
Bye.
bye.